everybody, welcome to my new YouTube video. My Patreons picked this one. The title lets you know what it's all about, so I can imagine I have lots of talking to edit, so I'm just going to get right to it. So, Fit the Shoe. Yes, I wrote it quite a few years ago actually. I'm very delayed in giving it to you, and I think a lot of people are thinking that it's about my previous relationship. It is a little, because it's relatable to that too, but it's more about the relationship before the previous relationship. Now, during my teens and stuff like that, I always had really nice boyfriends that just didn't work out for just, I guess, connection reasons or just where we were in life. When I hit my 20s, the last two relationships, I regret. So about 10 years ago, I met what I thought was a nice man that wasn't, and he was, I'm trying to think of the best way to word this, so I am not racist because I was in a relationship with this person, so do not take my words as I am saying that every person of this religion is like this, because it's not. But certain things in the relationship happened because of his religion, basically. In my case, this is my story, and yeah, so please don't be offended, because I respect everybody from this culture regardless of what happened to my experience, before I go into more detail. So yeah, that relationship was a domestic abuse relationship, which is where the song kind of surfaced from. And then my relationship just gone was more of an emotional abusive relationship, so it still relates because emotional abuse is still abuse. So I wrote Fit the Shoe because I wanted a song that was kind of like a cry for help without being too specific. And then obviously when I got the actual drive to share it with the world, I guess the courage to share it with the world, should I say, I then made sure that it was written in a way that wasn't too personal and angry, but to the extent that everybody could relate to it. So obviously it does say she stays with her man but he treats her like trash, which is true. What a silly thing to do. And then it also says things about like how we drive to work and it just burns our cash, and how, you know, men light cigarettes to keep up with the crowd and down in a beer to be one of the lads and all things like this. And it's all about that peer pressure to be somebody that you don't want to be, but just you do it to fit in or just to please somebody. And that is the same with abusive relationships. You keep them happy because you think that they will be less angry with you, but you stay with them because you're too afraid to leave. And it's a bit like having the wrong group of friends. You do things so you can stay cool and be in the gang, but you don't really want to do them, but the pressure gets to you and you're trying to be somebody that you're not. And that's what the song's about. Why do we do the things that we do? Just to fit the shoe. Such a silly thing to do. So in my case, because I was in the relationship I was in, I was staying in a job I was unhappy with. I wasn't doing things to my biggest potential because I was afraid of the outcome from my partner at the time. So yeah, when I was in a domestic abuse relationship, I doubted my music career. I doubted everything about myself. I doubted the way I looked, I dressed, acted, talked, everything. And you do, because you're almost made to be afraid to be who you are. So I got in a relationship with a Muslim, and it was great for the first year, and then cracks started appearing. Because he was brought up in England, I kind of thought, okay, so he must have some, you know, English traits about him. So I always said that I would compromise his culture and my culture together. You know, he drank, he did drugs, which I did not agree with, and he went out and partied, so I didn't think that his religion was a big deal to him. However, I was very, very wrong about that. It turns out that he was allowed to do all of those things wrongly, but I wasn't. So it started getting to the point where he would tell me off for what I dressed or what I did, who I hung out with. If I went out with my friends, I would have like 100 missed calls or text messages. He would even sometimes turn up on a night out and just rip my head off, basically. It just wasn't good, and the outcome was forceful in a sexual, emotional and abusive way. So yeah, that is the kind of relationship I was in. So Fit the Shoe was kind of like a subtle way of telling you all about the darkness in my life, but still with a positive vibe, because that's what I'm all about and that's what my music is about. So in the video, I wanted to like visually show you this. So the whole being trapped in the tree was me being in a situation I didn't want to be in and I couldn't get out. And I was a prisoner. I was a prisoner because I was made to feel like I had to stay with this person or he would, in his words, kill me. Yeah, exactly. And then obviously in the relationship just gone now, I was in an emotional relationship where the person lied to me so much. I thought I was crazy. I thought I was paranoid, even though I knew deep down he was cheating on me and only with me for his own benefit, and thought I owed him something, or he was entitled, that he was entitled to something from me. And I think he did gain a lot of things from me. I guess he stayed with me just to prove everybody wrong, that he was a nice man, he had changed. Clearly hadn't, we all know that now. But anyway, he wasn't a nice man. It was just about being trapped and not being able to get out. And I guess because he lied so much, and when you're a nice person, you sometimes benefit the doubt, if that's how you say it. Even though I knew he was bad, I almost took his lies and thought, oh, I feel really sorry for him. Like, I've just got to give him another chance. Wrong choice. I wanted to visually show you in a creative way about me being trapped, like at the roots of this person's heart and how they think I should be, and I couldn't get out, and I was a prisoner, and I was restricted physically as well. Like, I felt like I was tied up and I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. I was basically someone's dog. I was tied up in a bad situation, and even though I knew why he was in it, I was blinded. You also see in the video my boots and my guitar, which is obviously about my music, but obviously when I escape, it gave me the freedom to do everything with my music, so I wanted to show that visually. So yeah, it went from the darkness to the light because that's what happened. And then also a lot of people asked me what the necklace was about. So when I was in the domestic abuse relationship with the Muslim, I was given a necklace which symbols his religion, and I was made to wear it all the time. And at the time I thought, oh, that's lovely, that's beautiful, like I want to learn about your religion as much as mine, and seeing as we're in a relationship we're compromising, yeah, I'll wear it, that's cool. And so I did, but it caused a lot of trouble, because then I felt like I was kind of tied to this thing, to the point when I used to go out and he would get so angry I hadn't texted him back right away. He would run out to where I was, turn up, cause a big scene in front of everyone, to the extent where he ripped this necklace off me once and lost it, then got angry at me for losing it, but he was the one that ripped it off. But then he miraculously found it, so it was probably in his pocket the whole time. He got jealous because I was hanging out with my cousin who was a boy. This is how bad it gets. But this is like a regular occurrence. I remember we went out to the cinema once, and I can't even remember what we watched because I just remember fearing my life the whole way through it. And we sat down in our allocated seats and nobody was sat next to us. But as the movie was about to start, this guy walks in with his girlfriend. I'm pretty sure he had a girlfriend with him, and sits next to me. The face turn in my current partner at the time, I just knew something was wrong, and it was just an angry face. I can't explain it. They can go from the nicest person to the meanest person that just absolutely rages and hates you. And he wasn't being himself, he was being weird throughout the whole movie, and I could just feel the tense. Oh, what is gonna happen, what's gonna happen? And when we got out, he accused me of flirting with this guy who I didn't even speak to. I think maybe I smiled at him when he sat down just to be polite, but because I didn't move to another seat, apparently I was flirting with him and wanted to be close to him. Things got really bad to the point that when he was paying for the car, we were in Bath by the way, when he was paying for the car, I just ran. I liked it. I don't want to be here, I'm running. And I ran, and he caught me, and he dragged me by my arms and my hair through the street, and I was screaming and shouting, he was screaming and shouting at me, and people seen this, and they watched, and they looked, and even though I kept saying, get off me, leave me alone, nobody helped me. Nobody helped me. That was the worst feeling in the world, you know? And I've always said to this day, if I ever witness that, I will help them, because I know how horrible it feels not to be helped. Shame on those people who did nothing. Like, you could have at least rang the police and said, look, I can see this going on, not just stare like I was a clown show. Not good. yeah, he got me in the car and I managed to get out again, and then he tried to run me over. He pinned me to the wall of the car park, and in the end I had to get in the car. I had no other choice, and I had to forgive him, and I had to carry on like everything was fine. Yeah. Just to explain to you the extent of control in my relationship, it was, just so you know, if we get married and we have children, you have to ask permission to go to the shop and buy a banana if you want to buy a banana. And if the answer is no, you can't go and get that banana from the shop. Is that actually a thing? You know, I came out on the bright side. I used it to do good in my life. I ran off to Nashville and I had an amazing time, and it changed me. And because I was such in a good place, I guess this other guy comes along and woos me, and I stupidly fall for it again. I don't know why, because I was very antsy about being in a relationship, but he just knew exactly what to say and what to do. It was as if he researched me and pretended he was the perfect guy for me when he wasn't. Basically, one of the girls who was involved in all of this showed me and told me everything, and it confirmed everything. He'd even wrote in messages to this girl that I was lazy and worthless and couldn't do the things that she could do for him. And he was only staying with me because we were going on this holiday to Croatia for my friend's wedding, and he didn't want to miss out on that. He cheated on me, he lied to me, he gave me false hope in things, and told me that he used to laugh actually at things like, I have this old business idea. He laughed at it, he thought it was stupid, and when I talked about it, it was as if he wasn't really listening to me. And then like with my music, he used to come to gigs, but then he just stopped coming because he said he couldn't stand men looking at me and the attention I got. And then it was things like, oh, all your fake followers on Instagram, oh, I can't stand you. You just, all you do is worry about your fake followers and your fake friends and this and that. And then all this jealousy started coming out, and I was being accused of having affairs when it turned out to be him. But isn't that how it always happens, right? Should have been alarm bells then. And then it was all the whole like, I should give up my music because I wasn't really getting anywhere with it, so what's the point? Anyway, got rid of him. And I was the one that decided I didn't want to be with him anymore, but as men do, because of their egos, they make out it was the other way around. And look what happened. My song got to number 6 in the iTunes charts, and I just feel like every time I'm with somebody, I'm very held back, and as soon as I get my wings and get away from them, I bloom. Everything's happening. My life is exciting, so please listen to the words of my song, and please do all you can in life. This is how you blooming do it. This is how you fight back on all the people that said you never could do it, by doing it. Thank you to my Patreons, Dustin Parker and Kieran Hurst, for voting to do this YouTube video, and for being my high tier Patreons. I love you. Thank you so much for helping me fund my music and being able to do all I do, because you are helping me create dreams that I want to share with you and the world. So I love you guys. Thank you for being my friends. If you're, and whoever you are watching right now, thank you too for being here. Love you. Have a great week, guys.